Hello everyone, this is Carly Harfmann. I am the 8th grade language arts teacher for the All-Stars team at Crossroads Middle School. For my back to school video, rather than go through this whole PowerPoint at back to school night when we only have a few minutes and I'll have to just rush right through it, I would rather go through some of this important information with you now, and then at back to school night I can learn a little bit more about your students from you, and you can learn a little bit more about me. You can take a look at our classroom and ask me about what we're going to be doing this year and ask me any questions you might have for me. So we'll really get the time to do that, since I won't be trying to give you tons and tons of information in I think maybe 8 to 10 minutes. So a little bit about me. I won't go through all this, but this is my 3rd year at Crossroads. I went to Millersville. I'm the assistant field hockey coach. Down there I have my email. That is the best way to contact me if you ever need to contact me, which hopefully we will be contacting each other for good things. So that's the best way. You can also call the school and they'll take a message and they'll let me know to call you back. That sometimes takes a little bit until I get the message and won't be until the end of the school day. Email I can check pretty regularly. Also very important, if you would like to sign up for our Remind app, it sends out texts. I think you can also set it up to send out emails. If your child is in mods A, B, or C, text at the HARF to that number and it will automatically enroll you. For honors, text at HARF honors to the number and it will automatically enroll you. This is not my own personal phone number. It's sort of a service. I can type things out on my computer and it'll send them out to you in like a blast text. I'll send out reminders about big assignments, big tests coming up. I'll let you know what we are doing in class, if we start a new unit. So when your child comes home and you say, "What did you do today?" and they say nothing, like they all do usually, you could say, "Well, I got a text from Mrs Harfmann that says that you started your Anne Frank unit today. Tell me about that." So you get a little bit out of them, maybe. You can also chat on that. So if you have like a quick question for me, it can come up on my phone. Maybe I'll get it. Hopefully I'll get it at night. Can't always promise that. And then I can send you a quick chat back. Some classroom procedures. Absences, really important in 8th grade to start making the students be responsible for their absences and for their work that they miss when they are out. They should be asking students around them to copy notes. They should be asking all of their teachers what they missed. That's very important and something that is generally a big adjustment for 8th graders. They have the same amount of time to make something up as they were out. So if they're out for 3 days, they have 3 days extra to make it up. That being said, let's say that I gave an assignment on Monday and I say it's due on Friday. If they miss Wednesday or something like that, that assignment is still due on Friday. Even if they miss Thursday, that assignment would still be expected to be ready on Friday. And that's the school policy. Of course, if there are any big issues, something major happens, please just let me know. I'm always willing to work with you for what's best for the student. For behavior, we follow the BOLT system, as does the whole school. We also have a Beat the Teacher game, which is just my classroom. Excuse me. Basically, every time the students do something, or not every time, but many times when the students do some sort of desirable behavior, like getting their supplies out quickly, coming into class quickly and quietly, having a seat, getting straight to work, things like that I want them to be doing, I will give them tally points on the board. If they are doing not so desirable behaviors, talking out of turn, being too loud, me having to ask them multiple times to stop talking or get their materials out or something like that, then I get points. About once a marking period, at least once a marking period. Generally around some sort of holiday or some special event, I will say, all right, we are gonna add this up, and if they are beating me, then they get to have a special party day for class, and if I'm winning, then they don't. So I've been doing this for a couple years and kids really seem to enjoy it. So if you are being asked to send in cupcakes for Valentine's Day or something like that, that's probably what we're doing. It's probably a reward day. Homework assignments are posted on the large cabinets near the classroom door. I update them regularly. Anything can be turned in late for half credit. Well, I shouldn't say anything. Every once in a while, there's some, usually, generally a really small assignment that I'll throw out there that I'll say, you can't make this one up. It's just, it is what it is. But 99% of the time, assignments can be turned in for half credit until the end of the unit. So that's if they're 1 day late or a couple days late, it's half credit. Larger assignments, so that it doesn't completely ruin their grade or something like that. If it's a large essay or a large project, they lose 1 letter grade for each day late. So that's how my late assignments work. The reading log is a big assignment for my class. Language arts is required to read 3 books per marking period, and honors language arts is required to read 4 books per marking period. They can get extra credit for reading extra books. And basically all they have to do is they have a reading log. If they ever lose it, I have extras. If they have to bring, after they finish each book, they should bring me the reading log and the book, and they just fill out the name of the book, the author, their rating of it out of 5 stars, and then sometimes I'll ask them some questions about the book, and sometimes I won't. So I'll sign it, and then they can start on their next book. Other extra credit, while I'm on this slide, is the Google board, which is something that's kept in the back of the classroom. If I will put questions on there that have to do with whatever we're studying, something a little bit more challenging to push their thinking further than we might have time to do in class. They should research the question and write a paragraph or more. Basically, I base the grade that I give, or the extra points that I give, based on how well it's written. So it can range anywhere from 1 or 2 points to 7 or 8 extra credit points. They can also get extra credit for free writing in their writer's notebook, which I will talk about in just a few minutes. Online homework and flip videos. They will have videos sometimes for homework. They're not lying to you that their teacher told them to watch YouTube for homework. I really did. Well, maybe. You might want to check. So pretty much what I'm doing right now, rather than spend the time in class just lecturing, it's easy to have them watch something at home to at least get a sense of it, and then come into class at least knowing a little bit about it, and we can kind of get into the nitty-gritty in class more. I usually put those videos on YouTube and on Google Classroom. Google Classroom is used heavily depending on the unit in our class. So what Google Classroom is a place where I can post assignments. Kids can, I can post questions for the kids to answer. They can have discussions with each other, all of it under my watchful eye. It's really very helpful. I've had the students really enjoy kind of having that technology piece to something new, turning things in online, and it's a great way to organize all of that. So we will be using that. Unfortunately, parents can't join the class, but you can always ask your student for their credentials to log in and then take a look at it. I don't have this one listed, but we'll also be using Study Island and noredink.com, which are some other online learning tools. Our reading focus for language arts for 8th grade is what's on the screen. There's a little bit of a spacing error at the bottom, sorry. P, predict events and outcomes based on the information the author gives the reader. The daybook is very, very important in my class. If you are wondering what we are doing, ask to see your child's daybook, because that has what we are doing in it. We don't really have a textbook for language arts. All of our notes, all of our literary terms, all of our vocabulary terms, whatever we are working on is in the daybook. It's pasted in there or it's written in there. Pretty much everyone's daybook should look mostly the same. And they are numbered. They are bound composition books that they start right at the beginning of the year, and they use the entire year, almost every single day. It should be coming home regularly to be studied with as well. So if you're wondering what you're doing or how you can help your child, take a look at their daybook. It'll show you what we're working on. 8th grade writing focus. We have 3 goals. and we do much of our writing in our writer's notebooks. They look pretty much the same as the daybook, but they're usually decorated differently. They are not used as heavily as the daybook. We don't use them every single day, but it is where we do most of our writing. I really encourage students to write outside of class, and they do get extra credit for writing outside of class for doing free writing, writing stories, writing poems, writing their own articles about things, any kind of free writing. Generally, they can get extra credit for at the end of each marking period. Something very important in 8th grade for language arts is that it does affect where they are placed for high school. A level 1 student generally gets an A or a B in language arts in 8th grade. They're a strong student. By the end of the year, they are able to write an essay without any problems. They're generally definitely college bound. Level 2 needs a little bit more help. Maybe they're lower B's or C's. They might possibly be going to trade school or tech school, but just because you get put into level 2 doesn't mean, or level 3, doesn't mean that you can't ever move up in the levels. You can move up in the levels in later grades. That being said, you can also move down in the levels if you aren't putting forth the effort that is necessary to keep with the higher levels. Level 3 is probably not college-bound students. They have a lot of difficulty. They need a lot of support. They maybe got a D or lower in language arts, generally, is the level 3 students. We don't have a lot of students that we put into level 3. So here are just some of the things that being an 8th grade teacher, my teammates and I hear very often that I thought I would share with you, because I think a lot of parents, I hear it from parents repeatedly, just some different things. So 8th grade does seem to be much harder than other grades for many kids. Not all of them, but we do hear a lot of they've never struggled in school, or they've never really had to work in school until 8th grade. So that is pretty normal. We do expect kids to be much more independent. We do push them. It can be a little hard for them to get adjusted to, but we have had a lot of 9th grade students come back and 10th grade telling us that they are glad for it later, because they really need those independent skills in order to be successful in high school. A big thing that we don't chase after kids for makeup work anymore. If they didn't do it, it's going to go in the grade book as a 0. They should be checking Power School every day. And I want to emphasize that the kids should be checking Power School every day. Parents, please take a look at it as well, but please make sure that the kids are getting in the habit of looking at that on their own regularly, or with you regularly. How they perform now impacts their placement for high school. A lot of kids we do tell them regularly, but it doesn't quite sink in until course selection time, which actually happens right after we come back from holiday break. So a lot of kids think, oh, I will pull it out in the end, April, May. No, it happens in the winter. So it's really these first couple months of school really tell us the information that we need for placement for high school. It's the only chance they get really to give us that information. And we just have to go off of what we see. We really try to push kids that it's not about you're smart or you're dumb, it's about effort. It really, really is about effort. We try to really push that in 8th grade and help them to recognize that. All right, so I will see all of you hopefully at back to school night. If you have questions for me, that would be a great time. If you want to write some down, you can bring them in, or hopefully you'll just remember them. And I'll touch on a few of these points that I made in this video again. And you can take a look at the classroom, and I look forward to meeting all of you then. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Bye.